Hello, my name is Ngọc. I'm from Group 3 and today our group will present to you the chapter 2, Making Decisions. Basically, making decisions is a normal daily activity that you have to deal with, especially in business. All managers in all levels and in all organizations must make four basic decisions like which contract should they sign, to more important decisions like what companies should they invest or how can they maximize their profits. However, making decisions is not simple. It's a process that including 8 steps. Step 1 is identify a problem. Every decision starts with a problem. It is a difference between an existing and a design conditions. In other words, it's like when you fix a car, you must know which specific parts are broken, then you can give the best solutions. And also keep in mind that problem identification is subjective, that therefore it is not easy for our managers to effectively identify exact problem. And then in step 2, we have to identify decision criteria. These are factors that are important to resolve the problem and will guide managers' decisions even if they are not exactly stated. And in step 3, we allocate weights to criteria. That means you have to consider the importance of each criteria that you have mentioned before. And then for step 4, some possible alternatives are listed out to resolve the problem. And then in step 5, we analyze those alternatives. And then after judging all alternatives, in step 6, we select the best alternative or the one that generates the highest total score in step 5. And now we will put the alternative that we choose into action. And for the last step, decision effectiveness is evaluated to see the outcome and the result. And if the problem was not resolved, what went wrong? What should be fixed to make the correct decisions? However, most decision making is routine. In business, managers must always make decisions every second, every minute. It seems to be a habit, so sometimes they don't even notice that they are making decisions. Now let's look at 4 ways managers make decisions. So the first one is rationality. So for this, the problem faced must be unambiguous and the decision maker should be objective and logical to have a specific goal and know how to select the possible alternatives to maximize the value. And the second one is bounded rationality. This is decision making that's rational but limited by an individual's ability to process information. And the third one is the growth of institutions. This is when a managers make decisions based on their knowledge or their previous experience or even their belief and their ethics. And the last one is the role of evidence-based management. Evidence-based management is the systematic use of the best available evidence to improve management practice. And now we will find out some different types of decisions. The first type of decisions are structural problems and program decisions. Structural problems are straightforward, familiar, and easy to define. Besides that, program decisions can be handled by a routine approach. These are some elements that support a manager to give the best solutions. In other words, they're like a guideline for managers. And the second type of decisions is unstructured problem and non-program decisions. Unstructured problem are new, unusual, and sometimes it is complex and ambitious to complete. Moreover, non-program decisions are quite unique and involve custom to find the solutions. And now we will learn more about the issues that managers face as well as the decisions they have to make to bring the best benefit to the business. Reminding from previous chapter, there are four managerial functions: planning, organizing, leading, and also controlling. To complete these functions successfully, managers have to answer many challenging questions such as what are the organization's long-term objectives, or how many employees should I have report directly to me? So these are a lot of decisions that a manager has to face with in their daily activity. So after learning about the different kinds of decisions, now we will find out about the decision-making conditions that a manager can use. First one is certainty. Certainty is a situation in which a manager can make accurate decisions based on no outcomes. The second one is risk. Risk is a situation in which the decision maker is able to estimate the certain outcomes. And the last one is uncertainty. Uncertainty is a situation in which a decision maker has neither certainty nor reasonable estimations to make decisions.
I'm gonna tell you about part 4, which is different decision-making style and decision-making bias and errors. The first one is the decision-making styles. We have two styles, which is linear and non-linear. The first one, the linear thinking style, is a person's tendency to use external data, facts, or habits of processing information through rational and logical thinking. And the second one is the nonlinear thinking style, which is a person's preference for internal source of information, a method of processing this information with internal insights, feelings, or hunches. And the next part is decision-making bias and errors. Heuristic, or we can call it rules of thumb, is a way a manager simplify the problem. And because the manager simplify the problem, so it may cause the bias and errors. We have 12 common mistakes, which are overconfidence, immediate gratification, anchoring, selective possession, confirmation, framing, availability, representation, randomness, sunk cost, self-serving bias, and hindsight. Okay. The next one is an overview to measure decision making. We have 4 factors that can impact a decision making of a manager, which are decision making approach, whether it rationality, bounded rationality, or intuition. The second factor is the types of problems and decisions, whether it's well structured, and programmed, or unstructured and non-programmed. The third factor will be decision-making conditions. If the conditions certainty, risk, or uncertainty, and the final factor is decision-making style, like linear or non-linear. And to conclude this part, a manager can choose to make a decision based on a logical thinking or their feelings. It's not wrong or right way, it's just they have different way of thinking. And all the decision making process will be affected by four factors that I have mentioned are decision making approach, types of problems and decision making conditions, and decision making style. And in addition, certain decision making bias and errors also can impact the process. At part 5, we will discuss about guidelines for effective decision making. So there are a total of 5 guidelines, and the first one is understand control differences. Because not every method can apply worldwide, so it's better for manager to research a little bit about each country control before making a decision. And the second one is create standards for good decision making. The third one is know when it's time to code quit, because manager can make the mistake at the very beginning of the plan, but if they know how to code quit, they can avoid company loss a significant amount of money. And the next guideline is use an effective decision-making process. So this process can include focus on what important and research the information. It can be a logical and consistent information. And the last guideline is develop ability to think clearly so you can make better choices. The next part will be design thinking and decision making. So what is design thinking? A design thinking is when manager approach the problem as the designers approach the designer problem. So with this design thinking, it requires manager not only focus on only rational thinking or rational information, they have to also consider other factors like the feelings, like the designer thinking. And big data is a vast information and it can be sophisticated, but this big data is a very useful tool for the manager to make a decision. But since it's a big data, it's kind of complicated and you have to know which data is right for you to use. So it has to be tempered by a good judgment.
Hi, it's me again. On this part, I will solve the problem in the management practice. So the first section is the manager's dilemma. For the questions in the book, suppose you are a recruiter for a large retention and want to get college graduates to consider store management as a career option. Using what you learned in part 1, how would you do that? So, if I am a recruiter for a large retail chain, I would pay attention to these two main elements. The first one is about my company culture. I strongly believe that a friendly, open company culture is also something that good candidates are always looking for. And the second is my policies. I will provide good remunerations and welfare policies. Example like although my company doesn't have the highest salary, but in return, my company has a high level of responsibility, some bonus benefits, and a policies of regular salary increase. And now we will move to the section 2, that is global sense. And for the first questions, the problem that telecom face when they want to recruit the female university graduates is that women coming straight up college as likely to be immature and lack of necessary skills to work for some professional positions. Moreover, older female workers that have worked for a company for a long period may feel that they are being replaced by young generations. So the solution for this problem is a woman that graduated could be paired up with an older woman in a senior positions to learn the skill of the trade. Therefore, the older female worker won't feel that they are being replaced, and the young female worker can enhance their specialist skill. And for the question 2, the problem that when introducing changing working program is that due to childcare program family leaves, women need more flexible hours than men. This might result in negative effect on employee dedications and also job performance, because maybe there are some conflicts between full-time and part-time worker. So what is the solutions for the problem? I strongly believe that the company should create strong connections between part-time and full-time worker by holding some monthly parties or team building activities. And for the third questions, Obermann's statement gave us a conclusions that women are able to work effectively. The third question has given us a conclusion that women are able to work more efficiently and effectively on any project than men. Therefore, companies with women CEO produce better results than those with men. Moreover, better financial performance is a huge advantage of a female worker. So these facts lead us to accept the importance of women on international stage. And for the last questions, the lesson that other organizations can learn from telecom is that we should eliminate gender discriminations. We should respect and create more opportunities for female workers to have a well-paid job and also long-term promotions. Men should be given equal favor like women in the workplace. So in such ways, company will prosper better than ever.
Hi guys, my name is Nguyen. I'm from Group 3. My part is discussing and answering some questions about the case study 1 in chapter 2 in making decisions in the case study is named tasting success. In the first question, that is, what decision in this story could be considered unstructured problem or structured problem? To answer the first question, I will analyze the definitions of the unstructured problem, which is a new or unusual problem for which information is incomplete. First of all, to get start a new business, it is not easy. It is not easy because it needs a good strategies and preparations. A lot of companies fail when they just start on when they just start on the pretext of they cannot catching the fluctuating demand of the market. Getting orange juice into the business is new for Coke, so it is supposed to be an unstructured problem. According to the case study, Coke manager is focusing on increasing productivity for company and have a demand to double profit in 2020. And one of the more purpose to achieve this goal is building up its orange juice brand become one of the most powerful juice brand over the world. In this case, making a glass of orange juice is easy, but for the big player like Coke, producing a huge amount of quantity orange juice is quite hard. The explanation for that could be companies should ensure that they all have the same freshness for all the bottle when they produce, and it is also expected to have the same quality in every single bottle. As a result, it needs a formula to produce orange juice effectively. Structure's problem is a problem in which straightforward, familiar, and easily to define. In addition, problem would be resolved with a predetermined policies and producer in the structure and step-by-step process. They clearly identify what is given and what needs to be found, and much easier to solve this problem. A good example for this structure problem from this case is Black Book model, which include the data on external factors such as weather pattern, cold, yield, and other costs. Pursue by using Black Book, Code manager can easily determine and produce orange juice following the instructions. Next, we're moving on the next questions. That is, how does the Black Book help the Code manager and other employee in making decisions? So, by having the Black Book, it greatly simplifies the decision-making process for the managers, while making it is more powerful because of huge of data being used, and it also helps them to plan batches of juice. Some information in the big data include weather pattern for supervising and growing seasons, crop year, and also other costs per sure. This information seems to be quite important because it leads managers to plan organizations and control their strategy. Moreover, some companies claim that this big data is their key role to join the commodity market because it could be the weapon for them, the secret weapon for them to beat their counterpart their company. Next, that is what the code big data have to do with its goal. Code big data provide, as I said, code big data provide 600 different flavors that make up an orange and about a customer preference, and it is replete with a profile of each part of raw juice. So the formula also determine how to blend the new batches to match a certain taste. The case study said that the process of making orange juice somehow require one quintillion decisions. It includes high volume and variety of information that contribute to the decision. It make decision in the decision making process. Therefore, with the help of the big data, coach manager would be able to make a good decision which depend on reliable data they already have. Thus, it would also result company is working on the right ways.
Hello guys, I'm Kans, the member of Group 3. Today I'm going to present the case study number 2, the business of baseball. Before I start with my speech, I would like to introduce to all of you the structure of my presentations. There are two major sessions, summaries. I will summarizing the article in page 96 and 97, and then I will answer all the questions in there. Now let's go on the first part of summary. For a long time, baseball has been commonly known as American national pastime. Currently, it can be better described as American number crunchers. According to the Sandy Anderson, the general managers of New York Mets, success of the team would be come along with how perfectly data analysis are conducted, and this methodology is gradually becoming the sport move. Don't overlook the increasing values of facts, figures, and other data if we want to be a betting champions. As the 2011 film Moneyball, statistics are the crucial aspect of effective decision making in the sport of baseball. They were typically used to evaluate the player abilities, performance, as well as consider indicators of player offensive potentials. Moreover, the move to systematic data uses can be seen in the college baseball, in which the coach yells out the series of numbers. The coach says this approach is not only faster and more efficient, but it's not decipherable by dugout spy who is expecting to steal signs. On the other hand, this solution just could be used in a specific time of the game or even the season due to its various combinations leading to different budgets. Now, I'm finishing summarizing the articles. Now let's move to the second session, questions and answers. Now let's go on the first question, type of decision makings. In general sense, both program and non-program decisions are made in baseball. I would say these earlier decisions are unstructured problems because it relies very heavily upon judgment and creativity, and their information are ambiguous or incomplete. And this type of decision-making condition is one of risk because it requires the managers have to get not only historical data from past performance of his players, but also personal experience and secondary information that let them assign the probabilities. Now, should baseball managers use only quantitative and objective criteria? Why? I agree that it's proper for baseball managers use only quantitative and objective criteria in considering his players. However, I think it's a good idea to incorporate both quantitative and qualitative such as reliability and consistencies and so on, as it's important factor to decide what players he wants on his team. Do some research on sabermetrics. What is this, and what does this have to do with decision making? Actually, it's the right statistic to collect the wisdom of baseball insiders, which shows on-base percentage and or slugging percentage about indicators of a player offensive potential. Now let's move to the fourth questions. For rationalities, the coach can make reasonable decision based on how much to pay his players and based on how well they perform. The coach can use the bounded rationalities to decide what signals gives to the pitcher, gives to the catchers to relay to the pitchers when they have a limited time in making decisions. And intuitions, the coach can use intuition when they tell a player to storm a base. And evidence-based management is kind of is for to allocate the opinions reference of the baseball insiders on the set of the games. And the last question, can there too much information in managing the business baseball? I think it's sufficient. Managing the business of baseball is similar to the business management of other sport. It is highly requires not only an art expertise of human judgment, but also the ability to run the business in the economic field, to have the team be a rated winner. The last session of our group is the practice continuing case Starbucks. Now let's go on the question number 1. I think the conceptual would be the most important management skill for the Howard schools, because it helps him to see the organization as the whole, visualize how his business fit to the broadened environment, and understand the relationship among its various subunits. For a Starbucks store managers, the technical skill would be the most suitable for comprehending the job-specific knowledge and work tasks which are used to produce the company product or service the customer. In the question number 2, scientific management, organizational behavior and quantitative approach might be useful to the Starbucks. In the third questions, I will mention 2 issues and 1 trend. Now let's go on the first 2 issues. The first 2 issues, the risk of mass market expansion in the form of the customer traffic. And another one is the trend, organizing abroad conferences rather than gathering in the Seattle, the headquarters of Starbucks. With the first 2 issues, it will be impacted so seriously on its financial budgets. If it be due to the huge investment on labor force infrastructures and advertisement when moving to the new location, new cultures, and new markets. In the fourth questions, in terms of interpersonal roles, Howard agreed to trust all decisions of his colleagues, his partners in reviving and prospering the Starbucks again. Decisional role, he had a controversial decision. He decided to hold a leadership conference with all the top managers and 2,000 partners. And the last one is informational role. He by himself wrote to his top manager about unprecedented growth of the company. In the fifth questions, the Howard philosophy affects both deeply and positively in the way the Starbucks manage. As a result, the Starbucks has again come back stronger and achieved 2013 record financial results. After searching on the Starbucks website, and I decided to Kevin Johnson. He's the president and chief executive officer for Starbucks. For his planning, he proudly carries on the Starbucks legacy of human connection, driving the company core strategy for growth and being of service to 330,000 partners. He's a founding board member of Empowers, an organization that provides a non-profit with the access to technologies and a skill needed to fulfill the social mission. He's also involved with the Catalyst, a leading non-profit focused on expanding opportunity for women, and he's passionate about continuing nurture what as the heart of AdTech. It's the heart of the company's success, human connections. In the 8 questions, yes, I agree that the company's managers likely to make the rationality, body rationality and intuition decision because they have the clear goals, specific goals in form of finance, plans, brands, products and supply chains. And with the price goals of the number on revenues and earnings per share, it's likely to recognize that this number can make them satisfactory rather than trying to get maximization. And the 9 question certainty, the manager's pumpkin flavor coffee is running low, but this is popular in this year, so they decided to order more of this product on possible outcome unknowns. And the risk, the Howard decided to closing 7,100 store to be trained 135,000 baristas on coffee experience. For many experts, this would be the financial disaster. Uncertainties, he will ensure how the Wall Street reacts to his new idea that changing the location of conference with the huge cost of $30 million. And the question number 10, he appeared to be a non-linear thinking style. When he had a business trip to Milan and visited an espresso shop, he felt that this espresso not only focus on the coffee quality, but they can try to bring the warm and public experience to its customer. So I think, wow, this is a good idea. It can be successful in America, so he suggests try this concept to his owners. And the question 11, errors and biases might affect the Starbucks manager, executive, and partnership in a negative way. And the last question, designing thinking is important. It influences how the manager identify the problem and evaluate alternative. Thank you for listening. See you.